After 5 years of non-stop pursuing, Chelsea are about to lose Declan Rice. Arsenal are putting in a £90 million bid, an opening offer, offering him 300k, and what are Chelsea going to do? Let's break the news down and let's get in. Welcome to the Kavkas View, and in today's video we have got a very insightful video. Arsenal have made the first move. In chess, this is the first step. The pawn has moved. They are going in to get Declan Rice. Time for Chelsea to reiterate and react. We've got other stories regarding Mason Mount and how disrespectful, in my opinion, this offer is in February. What Chelsea did to Declan Rice, I believe, could have destroyed any hope of their contract negotiations with this man. And more importantly, Tammy Abraham claims that a Chelsea superstar is trying to get him back to the Premier League and back to Chelsea. I don't want that to happen, so listen mate, you need to stop talking to him. But let's get into the video. But before we get started, I think it's very important that you lot support the cause, right? Look, this channel is growing, but we need to make it a little bit faster because there's a lot of nutrition to be given out. I am your YouTube dietitian. So one thing you guys can do is hit the like button right now because you will forget you've made it this far, clearly enjoying it. And we want to hit 750 likes for this video. In the comments below, write down what number comment you guys are. So if you're 67, 67. Follow me on Instagram, that's in the pinned comment. Message me with your football related queries and I usually respond very quickly and efficiently. But other than that, regarding where you sit on the spectrum of I love Declan Rice or I hate Declan Rice, you are in two moods. Some people are over the moon, some people are celebrating and doing cartwheels that Arsenal are potentially going to steal him from the grips of Chelsea, and some people are distraught. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think Declan Rice is a very good footballer. I think Declan Rice destroys attacks very well. I think he puts out fires. I think he's very versatile, and in my opinion, in a back three, he would be fantastic as one of the right or left centre backs with his ability to just carry the ball out, distribute, and with time and space, he's a very good passer of the ball. But Declan Rice, in my opinion, is going to be very expensive for whoever wants to get a serve. England international, captain of West Ham, and more importantly, a media hype train like I've never seen before. So what's going on? Fabrizio Romano has said that Arsenal are going to put in their initial bid. Arsenal have been chasing this man religiously since last September. They've had meetings with him and they believe they're making a breakthrough. They believe they're going to be the favourites to secure his talents. Chelsea apparently have spoken to his camp, but nothing in a very professional manner. Everything's been give and take. Everything's been here and go. Look, we've been hearing about Declan Rice to Chelsea for 5 years. If this deal was going to happen, I think it would have happened last summer. I highly doubt that Chelsea are going to get him and offer him the 300k wages that Arsenal are offering him, because the 300k wages for me are preposterous. Enzo Fernandez is not on 300k. Joao Felix is not on 300k. Raheem Sterling is on 300k, but Raheem Sterling is a player that's proven himself across 10 years of his career. This, for me, would be a mistake purely given on the fact that the options out there in the market right now at a cheaper fee are actually very good. Lavia, Caicedo, who in my opinion is better than Declan Rice at this moment in time. Lavia, there's a little bit of a hit and miss. Ugarte at Sporting is actually a very good player, the Uruguayan international. He's coming with a lot of statistical support and more importantly, a lot of hype. Whether we know how good he is, I don't know. So I can't really sit here and tell you definitively he's better than Declan Rice. But I think we're going to start seeing now why Chelsea need to act now or forever hold their peace. Because once he goes to Arsenal, it'll be near impossible to secure his talent unless we break the bank or he forces a move. And the reality is on 300k, on 5 years or 6 years, whatever we're signing on, highly doubt he's going to. Chelsea have been actively trying to get Mason Mount to negotiate to their terms. And this has been going on for the longest, right? This has been going on even prior to the Bowley era. The Marino administration were actively trying to negotiate with him, but Mount's camp believed that it's not about the finances, it's more so about the respect. And when I tell you guys this story about what's coming from Andy Dalton or Dilton, or however you pronounce his name, sorry mate, no disrespect, you're going to understand why Mount feels disrespected. Because disrespect is when somebody offers you a 1-year deal. Chelsea offered Mason Mount's camp in February a 1-year extension, and Mason Mount's camp apparently laughed it off, rejected it, and now that their morale between the two parties is at an all-time low. A lot of you are going to say, Alex, what are they doing? Why are they offering him a 1-year deal? The reason they're offering him a 1-year deal, and Mount Camp really understood why this has happened, is because they basically wanted to protect his value. They were going to try sell him in the summer for a crazy amount of money, and they were trying to perceive his value. For me, this is disrespectful. I think Mason Mount came through the academy. Mason Mount has actively done enough to warrant the respect that Kai Havertz deserves, the Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech. And the reason I'm saying these players is because these are the players that got acquired in the era where Mount was brought into the team through the youth system, when he came from Vitesse Arnhem and Derby on loan and broke into the team. And the reality is, as much as I like Kai Havertz, as much as I think Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner aren't good enough for Chelsea, but you know what? They weren't in the most optimal climate to perform. I think Mount, we can fairly say, has outperformed these players, especially in the last 3 years. And when you think about Hakim Ziyech and Werner, it's not a doubt. Kai Havertz, maybe some people could make an argument. I wouldn't. So the reality is, giving him a 1-year extension, almost kicking the ball down the road and saying we'll deal with it at a future date, highly disrespectful. I don't blame Mount. Mount has got a plethora of options, according to the papers. Apparently, Arsenal are interested in £60 million bid for him. Yo, if we get a £60 million bid for Mason Mount, take the money and run. Take the money, pay the Uber from West London to North London ASAP. Because 60 million for Mason Mount, for me, is absolutely amazing business. If the catch of having Declan Rice there is going to, like, put them over the moon, then so be it. But for me, I don't think Mount is worth 60 million, especially with 1 year left on his deal. So if he moves on, good luck to him, but I won't be losing any sleep. And the final story surrounds Mr. Tammy Abraham, right? Mr. Tammy Abraham is an individual that has left the club and went on to Rome. And you know what? Tammy Abraham has done a lot at Rome, in the sense that he won him another trophy. I think it's the first one since 1996, if I'm not mistaken, their cup trophy. And he played a very good role and a prominent role in his first year in Serie A. He put up good numbers. And I was one of those people saying, look, Serie A is an easy league to put up numbers in, purely because of the fact we're seeing Lukaku go from scoring 30 goals or whatever he scored in the league, coming to the Premier League, and he's struggling to crack 15. And the reality is, Lukaku's far better than Tammy Abraham is ever going to be. Lukaku is once in a generation striker in the league, in the sense that if you look at Lukaku's numbers, from a statistical standpoint, you look back at Lukaku's career, you're going to say this guy was a monster. This guy was absolutely phenomenal. Belgium's all-time top goal scorer. I scored over 300 goals, guaranteed. Scored 25 in the Premier League for Everton. This is a top footballer. So we need to give him the respect. I don't think a lot of people give Lukaku the respect he deserves. But talking about Tammy Abraham has reiterated, he was always viewed as the graduate. He was never viewed as the real deal. He was always just another graduate. And this is a label that sticks with grads. And we're going to talk about it because we've got a little conundrum coming up later on in the video about Trevor Chalobah and Ruben Loftus-Cheek and what to do with them. But he also reiterated that Reece James has been on the phone to him saying, come back. I think this is a terrible idea. This is an idea that I am telling you now, this is why former footballers, in my opinion, sometimes should not be sporting directors. Because this is pathetic. The fact that he believes after Tammy Abraham should be coming back after he scored 4 goals all year in Serie A is preposterous. It's beyond stupidity, and it makes me laugh. Because you're literally trying to give jobs based on nepotism. Based on the fact that you guys are boys, based on the fact that you know each other, and you're trying to bring him back to the club. Why? Yes, we have a buyback clause of £65 million, but why on earth would we want to bring him back to the club? He's not good enough. In my opinion, Roma need to try upgrade on him, because at this moment in time, they're limited and capped on what they're going to be achieving, because Tammy's not doing the business in the final third. Yes, they might win a Europa League, but I'm telling you now, that is a massive reason due to Paulo Dybala. Dybala has been their X factor. Jose Mourinho's know-how in the cup competitions is the X factor. Tammy's been going against them. Like, he's been playing against them. I'm sorry, I've watched enough Serie A games this year to see how unproductive Tammy is in front of goal. But now we need to talk about Trevor Chalobah and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Today I put out a poll in the morning, and I said, do you sell Ruben or do you keep him? And the reason I asked that is because you need 8 homegrown players. And the reality is, some of them have to be above the age of 22. And the reality is, a lot of people aren't taking that into consideration. They're like, sell Ruben, sell Chalobah, sell Gallagher, sell Mount. Girls, we need to be writing these people into, like, regulation to make sure that we can actually field the squad next year, that we don't get penalized next year. So the reality is, we need young players. We need homegrown talent. And you also need versatile players. And I think people don't consider that. Because let's think about this from a logistical standpoint. Trevor Chalobah can play right back, centre back, right centre back, left centre back, CDM. Ruben Loftus-Cheek can play right wing back, right back, centre mid, attacking mid, central defensive midfield. That's players that you need in your squad, especially when the season's long, the games are piling up, and more importantly, when you get back into Europe, you're going to need these players because you're going to have to rotate. And the way I'm looking at it now is, if Trevor's happy with that role, I'm keeping him. If Ruben's happy with that role, I'm keeping him. And I'm trying to move off on a Gallagher, who can only play one position. I'm trying to move off Kalidou Koulibaly. I'm trying to move off Cucurella. I'm trying to move off players that aren't homegrown status. Well, in Gallagher's case, he is. But players that are also figmented into one position. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear yours. I think we're very quick to get rid of players because we just don't think they're good enough to crack the first team. But in reality, it's not only about the first team. Sometimes it's more important to think about the bigger picture. What is your fourth bench option? What is your fifth best option? And in this case, think about this from a big picture standpoint. You've got Thiago Silva at the centre of defence. You've got either side. You've got Levi Colwill and Badiashile fighting out for the left-hand side, but both can play in the middle. You also have on the right-hand side an injury-prone Wesley Fofana with Trevor Chalobah. That sounds good to me. I don't know about you guys. I think that gives you depth, that gives you security, and that also gives you promise. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts, peeps. It's been a quiet week so far of news. Can they just hurry up and announce Maurizio Pochettino? But it's not going to be very busy because the transfer window is not open yet. The sales can't go through yet. So hopefully, once the season's done, we're going to be more prevalent with the news. So I want you guys to make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and the pinned comment. Let me know what number like you are. Peace out. I'm out. Bye.